What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today we are on the test server here, and today we're going to take a first playthrough of the upcoming fusion, Kassandra. She's also the first champion from the brand new faction, the Argonite. Right here, she is the only champion here, and she's the first champion of its kind. She's from the Assassin's Creed collab. Look at this background, guys. It's actually really nice, really detailed. And her character actually looks really good. I know I kind of made fun of her because she looked kind of plain in the images that we were given, but the more I look at her, the more detailed and nice she actually looks. She actually looks pretty good for a kind of plain human skin, right? Like the face, I think Plarium actually did a pretty good job on. Usually they don't do that well with the faces, but I think for her face, it looks pretty decent. Pretty cool background here with the waves and all that. Definitely really nice background here for the Argonites. Let's take a quick look at Kassandra's base stats here. 1343 attack. Like I said, they definitely reduced her base attack here, probably to balance her out a little bit because of her passive. It can be ridiculously strong. 101 base speed, not too bad, a little bit average for a damage dealer. 63% crit damage there for the boosted crit damage. 16k HP, which is actually okay, about average for a damage dealer. And 1.1k defense, which is a little bit on the high side for a damage dealer. So good to see that. Let's go over the kit here real quick. It's got an A1 triple hit. It becomes a 6-hitter if she has 50% or less HP. It decreases the enemy's turn meter by 7.5% per hit, and it increases this champion's turn meter by 7.5%. So on a normal triple hit, that's 22.5% turn meter decrease and 22.5% turn meter increase for her. It's actually busted. Really strong. A1. This effect cannot be resisted if this champion's under Veil or Perfect Veil. The A2 here, Spear of Leonidas. Single target hit before attacking places decreased defense and HP burn for 3 turns. Very nice 3-turn duration. Cannot be resisted if she's under Veil or Perfect Veil. Also places stun on all enemies if the damage dealt by this skill is more than 50% of the target's max HP. And the stuns cannot be resisted if she's under Veil or Perfect Veil. So she gains a lot of benefit by being under Veil. She also gains a bit of benefit here by hitting hard. This one's on a 3-turn cooldown. And then her A3, she's got a self-cleanse, self 50% heal, self 50% turn meter, increase attack, shatter, and increase speed on herself. This is a 4-turn ability. A passive effect. If she has the increase attack, shatter, and increase speed, it will prevent her death. Keep her alive at 1 HP. Very nice ability. Passive here is the same kind of passive here. Everything is permitted as the other assassins. Whenever an enemy's HP drops below 25%, after receiving damage from an assassin, they receive additional damage proportional to this champion's attack. The bonus damage will ignore 100% of the target's defense and cannot crit. And her passive, Blood of Sparta. Whenever this champion attacks an enemy, increase this champion's attack by an amount equal to 50% of the target's defense. Whenever an enemy attacks this champion, increases this champion's defense by an amount equal to 50% of the attacker's attack. So you could be theoretically stacking quite a bit of attack on her when she's attacking, and quite a lot of defense on her when she is getting hit. This is a non-stacking ability, so it only happens once. So basically once per attack or once per hit against her. And lastly, her aura, 19% speed in all battles. Very nice and versatile aura. Quick note here about the Argonite's brand new faction. There is something to quickly mention, that since she is the first of this faction, it does mean that more of these Argonites will be flooding into the game. I did a little bit of research, and for those wondering how long it will take for Plarium to open up the crypt, if we are using the Sylvan Watchers as an example, it took them about 9 months to open the Sylvan Watcher crypt after the introduction of the first champions into the game. So for the Argonites, it could potentially take, possibly that long. Obviously, don't take my word for it, but I'm just going off of what I've read from previously for the Sylvan Watchers. They'll have to start adding champions to this Argonite faction so that we can actually, progress during the faction wars. Definitely push to finish Lydia if you can, because once the faction is open, it will require you to finish the Argonite faction before you can get Lydia. Another quick note about this brand new faction and Kassandra being the first one for this faction, it's probably worthwhile to start building your collection of Argonites so that you're ready for the faction wars. So Kassandra being the first one here definitely has increased value, especially since we'll be super limited on champions in the early go. Also, she is a time-limited champion, so once this collaboration is gone, she is gone forever. Anyways, guys, with all that being said, let's jump into my Kassandra, and I'll show you guys how I built her, and we'll put her to some content. All right, guys, so here is my Kassandra. We're a little bit limited on the test server right now because obviously the Argonites are a brand new faction, so we don't have any kind of set-specific accessories for them. So no stone skin, no protection, no supersonic, nothing like that, no merciless. These 3 rare accessories took me about 10,000 energy. I'm on the test server, so I'm just throwing energy at it. Luckily, the spider runs are really quick, but it took me about 10,000 energy to farm up a usable set of accessories for the Argonites, well, at least for her. So just keep that in mind. Once you get Kassandra, you probably won't be able to use her right away because you will have no artifact. So that's something to keep in mind if you're a brand new player. You won't be able to use her right away. Now, in the absence of having a stone skin set, I went for the 6-piece merciless set. This gives me 35% ignore defense, bunch of attack, bunch of speed, crit damage, and also gives me this 30% chance to decrease a random skill's cooldown by 1 turn when dealing damage. Now, her total stats here are pretty good. Obviously, I'm an endgame player with endgame gear. Definitely scale down your stats based on your own account. 40k HP, 5k attack, 282 speed, 297 crit damage, 324 accuracy. I don't have a relic and I don't have a blessing. These are the masteries on her. Kind of generic-ish. I like lasting gifts. Lots of value from this because she casts a bunch of buffs herself, and then you get a chance to increase the duration of it. You could definitely take something like Master Hexer to extend the HP burn or the decreased defense. However, they're already on a 3-turn cooldown, which is really, really nice already. So I went for some extra damage here with Kill Streak. This one also gives you a bit of value as well, rapid response. She does place a bunch of buffs on herself. So when they expire, you're going to get some turn meter. Cycle of Magic, 5% chance to get some more heals. Everything else just for damage. Down to Helm Smasher here on the T6. Now, obviously, if you had a blessing for her, especially if you had a 5-star blessing, which I would assume a 5-star blessing event would probably come for her, she's going to gain some crit damage, attack. She's going to gain the accuracy, which is going to be really, really helpful. I did build her out with accuracy. Basically, this gives her an opportunity to land the turn meter pushback, as well as a decreased defense and HP burn without relying on Veil. She does not place Veil on herself anywhere in her kit. This is one of the weakest parts of her kit because it synergizes so well with Veil, but she does not have Veil herself. So assuming you don't have perfect champions for perfect teams, you just have to build her with accuracy. If you have a Veil champion, then you don't need accuracy anymore. You can build her with more attack if you want. But for this build and the purposes of this build, I did opt for a little bit of accuracy so that she can do some stuff in content. As for the relic choice, I'm actually interested in giving her some kind of like survivability relic. I'm not sure if everybody wants to try that, but giving her an opportunity like an extra turn for perhaps like a last laugh amulet, that might be the make or break for her, right? Because she does have a chance to heal herself up. So giving her an extra life or a cheat death mechanic would be really, really nice, like Aspect of Suroth, for example. Obviously, any kind of damage relic would definitely help. Blessing wise, Lightning Cage works pretty well, obviously, for Arena because she does have buffs. You don't want them to get stripped off. If she's running Stone Skin, you don't want that to get stripped off, of course. If you're newer to the game, maybe you can run something like Brimstone, especially if you're running accuracy. Let's try her out in some content and see what she can do. All right, guys, we're on floor 116 on Hard Doom Tower. Let's jump in here and do a couple battles just to see what she can do. I'm going to slow it down for 1x speed. Let's do this. So no buffs or anything like that, just her baseline A2. Her baseline A2 here. So decreased defense with HP burn. Boom. You see that 37,000? That 37,000 is her passive. Everything is permitted. So she deals an extra 37,000 damage there. Her total hit was about 175, and then she dealt an extra roughly 20% of that. It's a decent chunk extra damage on top. Obviously, it only triggers if the hit drops the enemy below 25%. This is a one-time thing. So if the enemy drops below 25% and then you hit them again and they're still under 25%, then it doesn't occur again. So it's a little bit on the lame side, but as a one-time effect, it's pretty strong. So the enemy literally needs to pop up over 25% and then you knock them down under 25% for this to trigger again. Do a little bit more gameplay here. This time we're going to buff ourselves up. A little bit of a weak hit there. Let's do the A1 turn meter. Let's see how hard it hits. Let's go up against the Turvo here, 1 time speed. 50k hits. We do have Helm Smasher on. We are protected here. See this? Look at that. Look at the text. We're on the test server, guys. All right, so we are protected by the buffs, and then we can buff ourselves up, heal up. We still have the basically instant protection. Now we can blast the A2. Let's see how hard it actually hits. This turbo should be under 25%. Let's hit the turbo. Boom, 213. Okay, we didn't trigger the 25%. 213. Turn meter, steel. The turn meter, the A1 was enough just to kill that Stagnite. And the A2 there was obviously super, super helpful. So yeah, just checking out how the skills work. Let's jump into Dragon here. I want to test her out by herself to see if she can actually do something. I think she has really good wave control, considering that the stun, she deals enough damage for the stun to work. So you can kind of watch here how she can do. Boom. As long as we can knock them below 50% HP, then the A2 will stun them. You can kind of see here all of them getting stunned. Then the turn meter steal. Well, not steal, push back and then increase. Very, very nice. We get a little bit of protection here with the A3. Obviously the heal, very nice. Self-buffing. The key is to make a build that can do damage. Love that AoE stun. And this is where the accuracy really plays in, right? Because if we don't have the Veil, we're not going to be able to land this. We have to go through the accuracy check. So having the accuracy on her relieves the reliance on the Veil. So see here, we're on hard 10 on Dragon, and she's doing it by herself in a damage build with damage masteries, damage set, and all that. We reach the Dragon, and we die. So no big deal there. That was totally not surprising at all. Pretty sure in the right build, she can handle the Dragon here as well. But really, really strong to see her capabilities here. Just against like wave content in general. Let's see how well she does in a solo setting. Let's throw her into the Iron Twins and see how well she can perform. She's basically just full auto. Let's see what she can do here. That's a pretty big hit, the A2. HP burn also ticks away pretty well against bosses. So her A1 is doing quite a bit of damage as well. Big heal with the cleanse, really, really nice. We do have the advantage of affinity for this rotation here on the test server. Hit again, got resisted this time, so that kind of sucks. Going, and there we go. But not too bad, not too bad. Obviously, in a damage build, it's not going to be able to solo any bosses, but definitely some potential there to keep going. Now, against a Sand Devil, it's kind of interesting too. I'll show you guys exactly what happens with the Sand Devil. Again, this is just a damage build. So we buff up, and then we take 227 damage, but we're still at 1 HP, which is pretty cool. That's pretty cool, right? We don't have the proper accuracy to land all our stuff, so we're going to hit him 6 times, which is kind of bad. Get to heal up here. I try to hit him again. And then we got affinity issues as well, so just not the best situation for her, but just to see, just to see how she can perform against this is actually pretty interesting. Definitely something here. Definitely something here with the A3 in the right build with the right gear. Definitely can do something there. But her affinity is going to make it difficult against 25. So might have to look towards something else. Let's jump into the arena and see how well she does. Can she do enough damage to take out some of these teams here? Let's try this team. Let's try, you know what? Let's try with Veil. Why not? Let's try with Veil. Let's try with Veil so that the HP burn and decreased defense are now will be irresistible. The turn meter stuff will be irresistible as well. We have a little bit of accuracy, but in arena setting, it's not going to be like perfect. And we got sheep, right? Sorry, we got slept. And that sucks. Yep. See what happens here. Okay. Okay. Can we get a turn, please? Actually, even if we get a turn, we're just A1ing here. Okay, let's A1. Whoa, A1, 22k each hit. Oh. All right, down she goes. Let's restart this a little bit here. Restart. All right, going in here. Try this. Right. So now we're under Veil. All right, so under Veil, we can do decreased defense, HP burn, and it's going to be irresistible. And we're going to stun everybody, and it's going to be irresistible. All right, let's slow it down for the cameras. Let's see what we can do. I assume Sifi's the tankiest. So we'll hit Sifi, 180k on that A2. Everybody is stunned, irresistible. Pretty nice. I'd say that's pretty nice. Let's test out the A1 damage. A1 damage looks to be pretty decent. Of course, we have increased attack as well, so our damage is going to be boosted up a little bit. Let's test out the A1 here, 1 time speed, and 23k and then 24k from the passive. So basically an extra hit on the A1. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. I think this Laz is going to kill us. Oh, not quite. All right, let's duck out here. Let's try another team. Sure. Let's try. The A2 definitely benefits from having the decreased defense land. So you hit way harder, right? Seriously? Got locked out? Seriously? I mean, we're supposed to lock him out. Try that again. Okay. He locked him out. Okay, so Veil, increased attack. Let's see if we can one-shot. Let's see if we one-shot this Sifi. All right, slow down for the cameras. And decrease defense. Boom, 168k. Decreased defense lands before the hit. Everybody is stunned. For some reason, this Fabian is not stunned. I'm not sure why, but... Oh, probably sheep. Probably sheep got sent back. That would make sense. Let's test out the A1 here against this Bordeaux. A1. Oh, 7. Yeah, the extra, the passive also triggering, the passive also dealing a bit of damage there as well. 24k damage. I have about 5k attack, an extra 25k damage. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Just help finish off some enemies. Let's try this one. Okay. Veil. Okay, so blast. Harima's on the field, right? So Harima's going to reduce some of the effectiveness of our ignore defense. Let's blast Marius here. Boom, 117k with the reduced ignore defense from the Harima passive. Okay. Up. Okay, turn meter boost. Do that. We got the shatter buff as well. Okay, let's do the A2 on this Rhonda. It's probably going to do a ton of damage here with the shatter. And boom, 247k. Yeah, that's quite a bit. It's quite a bit of damage. It's quite a bit of damage, that A2. I mean, you have the decreased defense, right? So you land a decreased defense. If you're under Veil, it becomes irresistible. So it's quite a bit of a damage boost. Keep in mind that I have no blessing, I have no relics. So seeing that kind of damage is, pretty relevant. It's pretty relevant stuff. So let's see. Let's try this team here. We do have up against Yumiko here, and we're up against Harima again, and we lock them out. Don't lock out Carnage. Okay, we're under Veil again. So we will blast. Well, I mean, it's going to be irresistible. So the stun is irresistible, which is amazing. So let's blast Carnage. Boom. Oh, right into the Swift Parry. Feels bad, man. Into the Swift Parry, but we still get the stuns off. Irresistible. So it doesn't matter if they're how much resistance they have. Still land it. Self buff here. Turn meter boosting. I try to one-shot this Duchess. She seems pretty tanky here. One shot, is it possible? Boom, 174k smack. Big smack there, even with the Harima on the field. Big smack. I don't know. I mean, it's really something to see some big numbers on the A2 without blessings, without relics, but we are landing decreased defense on these guys. So it definitely helps push the numbers up significantly. We can try that again. This is a pretty, tankier team, I guess, with the Harima and the Duchess. Both of their passives reduce damage. This time the Carnage does not resist. He does have some resistance. This Carnage. Kind of interesting. Ah, okay. So now the Duchess placing the block debuffs. Quite tanky. I don't know. She seems relatively tanky. Even though we took that hit from Carnage, it could have been weak hits as well, but it does seem relatively tanky. Let's buff ourselves up. Let's set up for a bigger hit here. Okay. Try to kill this Duchess. A2, 65k hit. We didn't land a decreased defense that time because she did have the block debuffs. Still 65k hit. We did have shatter and increase attack as well. So the decreased defense definitely makes a big difference. How much damage is being pumped out. Pretty good save there with the buffs. Harima tried to go for the kill, and then we got the big save with all the buffs. See what else we can do. We're locked out here, so we can't really do too much. Let's A1 kill her off. Get an extra 10k damage from the passive. Now it's just one champion left. Can we get there? Yep, surely do. There we go, 35k burn. Gone. Very nice. I don't think we land decreased defense there as well because we weren't under Veil. But, I mean, she works pretty good. She works pretty good. We could try her out without the Veil. Try her out without the Veil. Let's bring in the Arbiter. Yeah, we'll try her out without the Veil, see how well she performs. There's not too many champions with Veil, so it's set up here. All right. So, without the Veil, let's see if we can kill the Sifi. We do. 210,000 damage. Nuts. That is a little bit nutso. We do have increased attack. Maybe I don't know, maybe the CP doesn't have gear. That's possible too. Now we're going to self-buff. Once we self-buff, we're basically protected unless this stuff gets stripped off. What would have been nice for her is some kind of AoE. That would have been really, really nice, but we don't have any AoE on her. Let's kill this guy. One hit, 48,000. Pretty big hit. Pretty big hit. Let's try another team here. I think maybe his team doesn't have gear on. Must be. Can't be hitting it that hard. Let's try Cold Brew's team again, this time without Veil. Okay, we do have plus attack. And we will try to kill the Sifi with one hit. And we do 171. Wow. We do have a little bit of accuracy, so we're still landing the decreased defense. So that's kind of why I kind of make it a little bit of a priority to add a little bit of accuracy so you don't have to rely on the Veil. Even somewhere like 300 still allows you to apply the decreased defense to most champions. Yeah, unless you specifically build for resistance, you're probably going to be okay with 300 accuracy. Okay, so now in this case, I pretty much got it. Interested. Let's do the buffs. Rhoda shouldn't be able to kill through this. Oh, Fabian with the strip. That's how you would lose. That's how you could lose with this. Fabian with the strip there. Pretty nasty. Hit. Boost turn meter. Okay. See what else he can do. A1, boom, boom, boom. 24k from her passive. Yeah, the multi-hit on the A1 synergizes quite well, I think. She has a really good A1. Really good. It actually hits kind of decent too. At least it seems like it. One here, slap, slap. 25k. All right, let's do one more. Let's do one more fight here. Right. All right, plus attack. Our turn. Let's kill and stun somebody. Let's kill and stun. Gizmat. Boom. 220,000. We did get stunned ourselves. So that's something too. So you gotta be careful if they have wand. You have a high chance of getting stunned yourself. That kind of sucks. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Getting stunned yourself is gonna suck. But I mean, that kind. Oops. That kind of goes for any kind of CC champion, anyways. Bound to get into a situation where you stun yourself once in a while. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this first showcase, first playtest of Kassandra, the brand new first Argonite champion from the Assassin's Creed collab. Personally speaking, I think she actually performed pretty well considering she has no blessings on, no relic on. I do have very good gear on her, so she has very good stats, even without the relic and the blessing. I think she works the best in a pure damage build so that you can kind of utilize the stun ability here because you do need to hit 50% of the target max HP's health in order to get the stun. So you need her to deal pretty significant damage. She does land decreased defense, which makes it a little bit easier to get high damage numbers, but you probably should build her out in some damage stats so that she can apply this once in a while. Her passive seems okay. Not as this one. Sorry, everything is permitted. This passive seems okay. It doesn't seem super impactful. Yes, it gives you a touch more damage, but it's not as strong as the turtles passive, for example, where all the turtles come in with their A1s and they do all sorts of different kind of effects. This one is just a little bit of extra damage. In some cases, it's very important. Obviously, you can finish off some enemies, but for the most part, it's definitely not as strong as the turtles join in attacks. Now, her other passive, Blood of Sparta, it definitely feels like this keeps her alive a little bit. She takes a lot less damage because her defense increases by so much. And it definitely probably contributes to her dealing more damage by giving her more attack. Now, her base attack is not very high. 1343 is very, very low for an attack-based damage dealer. So any kind of percentage scaling you have on her gear is not going to give you the best bang for your buck, because it's easier to make higher attack numbers when your base numbers are higher. So adding, for example, percentage stats on your gear is just not going to give you that much attack, but it's still probably the best way to build her out, giving her percentage stats. But just don't expect your Kassandra to have crazy high attack numbers. As for the accuracy, I do like building her with a little bit of accuracy. You don't have to go crazy with it, but at least enough to do your PvE content so that you don't have to rely on having a Veil champion all the time. It's going to take away a little bit of damage from her, but not too much. For example, I put a accuracy banner on her, and I have a accuracy substat here on the chest, and that's pretty much enough for most content. You saw that I was landing the decreased defense HP burns against some of those arena champions without too many issues. Now, if you're asking if this is worthwhile as a fusion champion, it's interesting. I definitely think she is worth getting because she is part of the brand new faction, and you definitely want to start building out your brand new faction wars team right away, because you're never guaranteed to get these champions, right? Otherwise, you don't want to be stuck leveling up a bunch of really bad champions just so you can have a squad to go through the Argonite faction wars. So having Kassandra here, who's really solid, she's a solid champion. She might not be busted good, but she's very solid. To start off your faction wars team, I think is a good thing, so it definitely boosts up her value. Now, if you're a brand new player, this is going to be something that is very important for you because, like I said, to get these accessories, these rare accessories, I'll show you guys what I'm working with here. Attack ring. This is actually a half decent ring. And then I got a crit damage amulet, 6 stars. And then I got an accuracy banner with, attack and speed. Now, these accessories took me about 10,000 energy on Spider to get. If you are brand new to the game, and getting 10,000 energy is not going to be easy for you guys. I'm farming hard 10 Spider, by the way. Then getting the accessories up to a point where they're usable is going to be very, very difficult. Now, I didn't get an attack banner for, I don't know, 6,000 or 7,000 energy worth of runs on hard 10. So that's kind of what we're working with, just a lot of RNG, and all of us are starting at 0 accessories for her. So if you're not willing or not able to commit heavy resources into farming accessories, at least in the beginning, your Kassandra is going to be greatly handicapped. So that really devalues her for brand new or players that are more casual that just don't have the time or energy to farm the Spider. And I think that's a really big thing, because if you need a champion to perform right away, she might not be that champion for you, especially if you're spending your hard-earned resources. So just a warning for you guys, if you guys are going for the fusion for her. Otherwise, as a champion, like I said, it's impressive to see the A2 hit so hard without a blessing or relic. But that's mainly because I have good gear on her and she's lining decreased defense. So giving her Veil is going to help out quite a bit, or giving her accuracy. Her A3 passive, her A3 passive effect here, yes, is also very, very strong, and we've seen it save her many times. Now, the other issue with her is that I built her pretty fast. And the fact that I built her pretty fast means that she's going to outrun these buffs very frequently. So she's going to be, lapping the PvE content, for example. She's also going to be doing her A1, boosting her own turn meter, which is going to, again, run out her buffs pretty quickly. So this is something that kind of works against this strategy where these buffs are supposed to keep her alive. But if you're taking so many turns and then you're landing on a spot where you don't have this up, and then your opponent gets a turn and then you're just kind of dead, she really needs a way to kind of recover after surviving, for example. After she survives at 1 HP, she really needs a way to recover without having to use this A3 again. So she might not take enough turns to cycle back to this ability to heal herself up. That's what I'm saying. So she probably needs a way to heal up, whether it be a teammate or maybe a gear set or a relic, or even something like Life Drinker that could probably do it as well. But I think she's a fine champion. I'm definitely going for her for the fusion. I think she has a lot of untapped potential as well. So stay tuned for some future videos as we figure out her kit a little bit more. Anyways, guys, hopefully this video was helpful and informative for you guys. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about Kassandra, what you guys would use her in. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. It would really help me out. Thanks so much for watching until the end. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.